But going in, my early prediction is the thing that the weirdest thing to me is how seemingly laid back it is.
You could be edgy and like.
No, I don't.
Get a blue.
I'm not looking to make a statement. I'm looking to blend in. I don't believe it. Oh wait, I don't believe it's just like super laid back. Like, yeah, if you're a few minutes late, no one's really gonna like, say much. It's whatever. Just kind of get in when you get in.
Yeah. Hey guys, check it out. My buddy Cody decided to join my cute kids and my hot wife and come to church. And this Sunday was the day. Now, before taking him to our humble chapel, before gracing the BH2 award with his humble presence, we went out, we went shopping, we got him some cool Sunday best threads, taught him how to tie a tie on his own, and dragged him to the chapel sort of on time. He kind of got a baptism by fire in Mormon Standard Time. But either way, being the intrepid, being the brave person that he is, trying new things, he checked us out and has agreed to come back in the studio and give us his take. So it was a lot of fun. We enjoyed introducing him to the elders quorum and to our friends in the chapel and the foyer and all the other stragglers running around afterwards. He even got to shoot some hoops at the end of the day with some of the local kids, and it was a lot of fun. And he's going to come back into the studio and tell us his thoughts. Let's check it out.
Like you said, I guess we did get there a little late, but
He's hating 3 hour to church already, and he never had to experience it.
I was actually like, I can see how an extra hour definitely would have been, like, because that felt like
When was the last time you had to tie a tie, Cody?
like a year ago. But it seems like it's a pretty laid back thing where it'd be pretty easy to bring people in for the first time. So when there was an hour 3, what was different?
I think it's kind of funny that every time we bring in Cody as a complete and total outsider who's never experienced any of these religious arguments, he always ends up accidentally debunking the anti-Mormon ones. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Ward Radio. I'm your host, Cardinellis. Today I'm joined in the studio by Cody and Brittany. And Cody here actually came to church with us this Sunday. For those of you that didn't get a chance to catch our live stream, Cody here, who has no previous religious history, decided to come with us to church on Sunday. I've invited him many times over many years, but he actually decided, okay, this Sunday we're going to do it. We're going to check it out. And he's here to return and report, tell us what he thinks, give us his thoughts, the whole 9 yards. Cody, take it away. What did you think, bro?
Of course. Well, yeah, I guess the simplest way I think to put it is I was a little bit surprised, but also like I don't know exactly what I expected it to be like.
Surprise? Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, no, like I was surprised how kind of like laid back it is. I see you guys in like your like suits and like your like shirts, your ties, and I figure it's gonna be like, if like they'll be like, oh, Cardin's like supposed to be here, we start in 5 minutes, as opposed to like, it's more of like a kind of like, get there when you get there, but you know what I mean? It didn't really seem as rigid as I thought it would be, in a good way though. I mean that as a good way. I thought it would be a lot more like, I don't know, like I said, you guys got like your ties and your shirts. I figured it'd be kind of like almost like corporate-y, but no, it was kind of, I guess, what I imagined a church service would be, right? There was like some hymns and you guys kind of talked. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
I guess, like I said, I was kind of surprised, but also at the same time, in hindsight now, it's like, I guess, I don't know what else I thought would have happened. I don't know what other events or or anything else I would have seen.
Yeah, okay. So I guess let's just go. It's kind of funny. I was going to say hour by hour because we used to have 3 hour church, but now we only have 2 hour church.
Oh, when did that happen?
Gosh, babe, when was that?
A while ago.
I'd say it was 2-3 years ago, maybe?
More than that.
Oh, it was more than that? Okay, cool.
I don't really know, though.
Yeah, okay.
All I know is I'm really loving 2 hour church.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like okay. what got cut? I guess it's kind of like a way to go through it, because I guess for me, when I went today, right, you guys did a little bit of like singing and hymns, and then it looks like some people came up and kind of talked a little bit, gave some little like sermons or whatever. Then you split up and had like an hour or two, it seemed like, all around the building, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So when there was an hour 3, what was different?
Okay, so it used to be, so today you saw the big general meeting, equivalent to kind of like Catholic Mass, all right? We call it Sacrament meeting. And he got a baptism by fire in Mormon Standard Time today because, truth be told, we did show up late for church and they'd already finished the sacrament by the time we got there.
First time ever in the history.
Yeah, we've never showed up late to church before, bro. But anyway, today we actually ended up being kind of late for the services. So you missed sacrament, but it's called sacrament meeting because we kind of take the sacrament similar to communion with the Catholics, okay? Then after that, they give their talks, but that's a big generalized meeting. Then afterwards, it used to be your second hour. You were divided by age in what was called Sunday school. So the primary children would go with the primary age children, elementary school age. The junior high and high school kids would go with their respective age groups. And then the older adults would go in their respective age groups. That would be second hour in Sunday school. And then third hour was divided by gender, where you would do elders quorum, like the men over here, and then the women over there. And it was that way every Sunday for 3-hour church. But recently, in the past 5 years, they've truncated it and said, okay, we're always going to have the generalized service, and then we're going to rotate every other week, dividing by gender, and then every other week dividing by age instead of every week. So now it's just 2-hour church, bro.
Okay.
You know?
I mean, from someone who's only went once, and again, who's not like a member of the church or anything, I would have, like, I can see how an extra hour definitely would have been, like, because that felt like, I mean, like you said, I guess we did get there a little late. But
He's hating 3-hour to church already, and he never had to experience it.
I was trying to be kind of like complimentary in a way, because I guess you said we were a little late, but still, it felt like it was a pretty like well paced and like brisk overall like I don't know, service. I don't know what you would call it, but I mean, it didn't really feel like it was like some like, because again, dude, I don't like really go to church. I'm not super religious. In my mind, I feel like you guys are there like 6 hours. You know what I mean?
No,
like it's like
that's the Bickertonites. We were there for seriously 6 hours.
There are buddies, and it's beautiful. And a lot of the things that we do during the week, they obviously do on Sunday because they're coming from a much larger area. So anyway, okay, cool. Well, I guess we'll just go top to bottom. So you got to experience, I'd say 2/3 of sacrament meeting. Mm-hmm. Any takeaways from that first meeting, from the talks, from the speakers, from the building, from anything you noticed, just any thoughts that came to mind, any suggestions might have to make it not suggestions yet, but just tell me your thoughts on that first hour,
I mean, like I said, it's kind of tough because I don't really know. I have nothing to really compare it to for the most part. Like, I don't know what you guys normally do.
Okay. Cool.
Right. But again, like, I guess I wish I had a better way of describing it, but really it's kind of like, in hindsight, exactly what I imagine like a Christian Sunday in church would be like. People talked a lot about Jesus, what like their relationship with Jesus, you sang hymns. Like, I mean, that's, again, like, I guess I don't know what else I thought you would have
Mormons
been
were
doing.
talking about Jesus? What?
Exactly.
What?
I thought we weren't Christians, though.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I'm
funny.
confused now.
I don't want to.
You just stumbled onto an interdenominational landmine.
That's what I was saying. Like, I didn't mean it in that way. But as far as that, I don't know. I guess takeaways, just as far as like things top of my head, I thought it seemed like a really like, I don't know, not like super crowded, but it seemed like there was people everywhere. It was like every room had like just people in it. Like there was like a pretty like, I guess like active. I don't know the word for it, but I was surprised. I guess like just like my honest takeaway. I was like, oh wow, like there's like people in every single one of these rooms sitting and doing little meetings. It seemed like even the smaller side rooms.
Yeah. How do they look? Miserable? Unhappy? Good?
Well, I don't.
Wholesome? No, I'm just kidding.
Can't speak too much. But I mean, I wasn't really.
I think it's kind of funny that every time we bring in Cody as a complete and total outsider who's never experienced any of these religious arguments, he always ends up accidentally debunking the anti-Mormon ones, where he's like, yeah, I went to church my first time, never been, and they talked a lot about Jesus. And then all of the evangelical anti-Mormons are like, no, they didn't! No, they don't! It's kind of funny. Yeah. It's actually pretty hilarious.
I guess, yeah. I mean, but,
second hour, bro. What'd you think of second hour, man? When just all of us dudes got together. He ended up coming to Elders Quorum with us, babe. So
did you bet on some horse races or what?
Yeah.
No, I mean, like from what I saw, I guess, yeah, it seemed, I mean, I guess, and I don't want to, I guess, whatever.
No, just say it, dude. Just step on the landmines, baby. That's what we do here.
Well, no, I mean, I don't think anyone would take this wrong. But yeah, I definitely felt like that second hour was more of kind of like the kind of like social aspect of it. That makes sense. Like I said, but like as an outsider, like you guys were talking about stuff that was like obviously had to do with like I think in particular like various like what elders are giving speeches on and kind of. But for the most part, it kind of felt more like just like a community of like guys kind of like talking about like community stuff. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It was more like a social thing. I don't know. I guess that was just my takeaway. It was like, oh, it's not like just like pounding the pavement Jesus. There's also kind of like you guys have like more of like a social aspect to it as well.
I think you mean pounding the podium about Jesus,
Either way,
not pounding the pavement.
Well, I mean,
you know?
I
I pounded the pavement on my mission. Now I pound the podium for Jesus.
I guess that's my takeaway. I guess what I was trying to say is that I didn't really. I guess that was what surprised me earlier when I said it kind of surprised me, but at the same time, I don't know what I was expecting. Is that there's clearly like a I don't know, I guess it's like a community aspect of it, if that makes sense. I'm trying to find the words for it, but it was like I could sit there and if I was like I could very easily see this being like a homeowner association meeting, right?
Yeah.
like if I just walked in cold to that and nobody said this is part of like a church service, like I wouldn't instinctively pick up like, oh, this has got to be like part of a church service. I felt you guys were more like in like a again like it was more like a social thing, not like a bad way. Again, I don't want to make it sound like I'm like ripping on anything, but
no, bro, we're loving this. That is hilarious. These sound bites will live in perpetuity and are awesome.
I apologize. I don't mean to, but I get it, and again, I mean it like in a bad way.
No, it's not bad.
I was
This
just
is
kind of
funny.
like caught off guard by it. I'm like, oh, I guess they do like also kind of like like more of their kind of like local community social stuff during Sundays as well.
Yes,
which makes sense if you're all there anyway. Like, again, like kind of what I was like, I don't know what else I expected, but like yeah, I guess
second hour is a lot more familial, more casual. We had a really great lesson, Brittany. I don't know what your lesson was on, but we had a lesson on.
I'm stuck in primary, and we were
You're not
rehearsing
stuck.
the
You're
primary
blessed.
program, and I had anxiety for 30 minutes, so that's what I was doing.
You're not stuck, Brittany. You are blessed to be with all of those beautiful little cherubs.
That's what I meant, yes.
Yes, that's exactly what you meant. I'm sure I felt it in your voice.
Yes.
But anyway, yes, second hour is a little bit more casual. It's a little bit more kickback. We had a really good lesson on Elder Bednar's talk from last General Conference, talking about some of the unglamorous work that has to be done in church and venerating those that do a lot of the unglamorous work. Of course, being elders quorum, there was a lot of humor. There was a lot of jokes. It was pretty cool.
How many of those were dad jokes?
I don't know.
How many were legit jokes?
Rate the humor, Cody, on a scale of 1 to 10. Where'd you find the humor? Between 0 out of 10 groaners that you barely recognize as jokes, 5 out of 10 dad jokes, 10 out of 10 Cardinellis and his best stand-up right there next to Jerry Seinfeld. MILF and cookies. What'd you think?
I was probably lacking some context.
Cody's going to say a 0.
It's probably lacking some context. That was a soft letdown. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding. One thing that was fun was I got to introduce Cody, Brittany. You know what I'm saying? I got to introduce him. And that was
I'm curious,
pretty fun.
what did you say?
It was pretty short. I just got up and I kind of made a joke. I said, hey, this is my buddy Cody. We used to work at the radio station together. He's coming today just to check us out. And I think I might have mentioned even that we're doing an episode. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I made a joke. I said that, please don't make it weird when we sacrifice a goat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it was pretty funny. Everybody laughed. And there was only really one time where I thought, oh, this is interesting. When I noticed how Cody here behaved, it was kind of funny, was we always, generally when we're discussing, especially conference talks in the church, there's an app for the members of the church where you can look up the scriptures, you can look up conference talks, you can look up information about your congregation, so on and so forth. And so oftentimes we refer to that app. However, for some older people that maybe have struggle looking at screens, or people that might have forgotten their phones or whatever, oftentimes it's customary for the teacher to bring a couple of hard copies. So Cody was given a hard copy because, obviously he doesn't have the app installed on his phone. Ooh, there was a fly. Doesn't have the app installed on his phone. And it was kind of funny being so cordial as he is after it was all done. And Brother Bellina was done giving the talk. He got up and he walked back over and he handed it to him. You know what I'm saying? He was like, hey, here's your copy back. And I was like, oh yeah, hey. You know what I'm saying? I guess that is the customary thing to do. Usually we just take it home full and a half, leave in the trash, or else if it's marked up, we stick it in our little file folder of talks that you want to keep and stuff. But he was very cordial and he gave it back, which I thought was which was nice.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome. I love it. So anyway, I was going to say, not my favorite part, but my second to favorite part. Like it's always fun bringing your friends to church. That's always cool. And church is the main event. But I had a lot of fun before the main event, shopping with Cody. Bird, did you see what we came home with yesterday? Did you see how good Cody looked today?
I did.
What'd you think?
I mean, you looked the part, Cody. I mean,
I told you, that's it. I just my goal always. I ask a lot of questions ahead of time when I go to stuff like this. Anything, right? Any kind of social gathering. My goal always is to have I want people to scan a room and not see me. Not be like, wait, what is this guy doing?
Yeah, dude, you fit right in. The only thing he didn't have was a tie, so he got to borrow one of my skinny ties that I save for my hipster friends like Kwaku and Cody, who oftentimes dress better than me in a much more modern and chic fashion. Okay. And it was funny. When was the last time you had to tie a tie, Cody?
Probably like a year ago.
All right, rock on.
I mean, it's every I would say 9 to 14 months. There's a couple of times I have to wear a tie. It's just never frequent enough to get in the habit of doing it. It's every morning you just get in the habit, but it's I can normally figure it out after a few minutes, but it's just so infrequent I actually have to wear a tie that I don't really. No. I can't just grab one and tie it up. I have to always kind of fudge.
Well, being a member of the Beverly Hills 2nd Ward, I have to tell you, it's like snowboarding. It's easy to learn, difficult to master, but you pulled it off 90% well today because you looked good. You showed up on Mormon Standard Time late enough that, it was chill.
I have a question, though. Is that a thing or you just late?
It's a thing.
No,
it's a thing.
It's a thing that there's enough people like me that are late that the ones that show up on time get tired of it, and so they call it Mormon Standard Time. But yes, we generally give 10 to 15 minutes for any meeting to get off the.
There's a grace period.
There's a grace period, and we were definitely at the tail end of that grace period.
I will say though, I guess to that. Kind of the overall the compliment I will say as far as an outsider, I can definitely see why that's something you guys do every Sunday. I'm sure there's some Sundays you don't want to go, but I could see how that's something you could pretty easily do on a weekly basis and not be because I don't know, again,
a weirdo in a high demand religion.
Well, not even that. If someone who doesn't go to church or stuff a lot, but there's some if it is a big presentation and a big blowout thing every Sunday, I could see it kind of being a bit of a fatigue, but if it's just kind of more of a laid back thing where you get your Jesus in, you get your social stuff in, I could see how you could just do that every Sunday without being we got the whole shebang again tomorrow, or it's instead just
we got the whole.
Well, do you know what? Again, this is coming from me.
I love it.
This is coming from who doesn't go to church, right? So this is kind of the way someone who doesn't go to church, I guess, would view it, right? But I was surprised. I was like, I could see how they do this pretty easily. This doesn't feel like something that's a big. I think I'm missing the words, but you know what I mean. Sometimes some things take a lot out of you, and doing it every single Sunday sometimes can be I could see people kind of getting discouraged. But
I hear you, bro. See, the moral of the story is it's a lot easier than people would think. It's a lot more chill than people would think, and it's a lot more fun than people would think. And as I was saying before, you got it 90% down, bro. You got the look, you got the vibe, you got the cool. It's like snowboarding, easy to learn, hard to master, but you were 90% there. You were even shooting hoops at the end, bro, with some of the youth. You had to loosen your tie a little bit and you had to untuck your shirt in order to,
my shirt.
Because those first couple of shots were kind of air balls because it's been a while since you had the cuffs on.
Well, I couldn't get my arms above this. So I was just doing this.
Yeah. Well, dude, you were nothing but net by the time you loosened the tie and you untucked the shirt. Yeah. So
I wonder, is there any? I mean, there has to be. I wonder who the big Mormon, and there's got to be a Mormon in the NBA, but I wonder who they are.
Oh, they're all over the place. Mormons are all over.
I'm sorry, was it Mark Madsen? He's the one that comes to mind. He was on the Lakers.
Yeah, former Laker Mark Madsen.
Yeah. There was Sean Bradley, the tall, skinny guy, made it for a while, but I think he had trouble gaining
Sean
weight,
Bradley
so
was
he didn't.
Mormon?
Yeah. And then, did Jimmer Fredette ever get picked up by the pros?
I think so.
No. Okay, Jimmer did go to the NBA. He is a legend in China. One of the greatest players in the Chinese league.
Really?
Yeah, I forgot the team he plays for. Is it the Shanghai Sharks? Maybe he's like legitimate, not like he's good in China. He's a mega star in China. I think he's had opportunities to come back to the U.S. and play, and he's just kind of I'm killing it in China. Why would I want to go? Why would I want to go be a lesser role player in the United States? I forgot about him though. I don't know how I forgot about Jimmer. Yeah,
okay, so look, check this out. I just Googled right here for everybody that wants to see a brief list of Mormon NBA players.
Jabari Parker's Mormon. No.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
Danny Ainge.
So Tom Chambers, Fred Roberts. Don't know who Jabari Parker. I don't follow the NBA, so I don't really know this stuff.
Was he 1 or 2? He was drafted either first or second overall 7-8 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. 2015, something like that. No, Danny Ainge is actually a really interesting guy. Danny Ainge played professional basketball. I believe he played professional baseball. I forget to what extent, but I believe he was professional baseball player.
Well, here's a whole article, man. 12 Latter-day Saints playing professional basketball around the world. Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow.
I'm sure I figured. But I guess, yeah. So, like, as far as, like, Jimmer, I guess, feels like to me like Jimmer. And then Danny Ainge, he's just an interesting athlete. Again, pro baseball, pro basketball, and he's a basketball general manager a long time now. So that's kind of
Get out of town, really?
Yeah.
Okay, you and my dad could talk for hours, bro. You and my dad could talk for hours. That used to be the thing that I had to endure every single Sunday when we went to elders quorum. Is like if you showed up early, the first like 10 minutes were just old guys talking sports. And I don't follow a lot of sports. I played a lot of sports. I would actually prefer to just go out and play sports, like play basketball, than just sit there and watch it. So I was kind of an odd duck that enjoyed playing sports, but I didn't watch professional sports. So
but not even like gossiping about sports, you know, like that.
I didn't know that. I swear, sometimes listen to guys talk sports. I would, if I didn't know so much about movies when I talk to people about film history and things like that, I would think that the people talking NBA history are full of crap. But then I realized how much you can actually remember about things that you enjoy. So I stopped thinking they were full of crap. But I didn't enjoy all of the sports talk. And that's like a big thing in LA, you know.
Of course, anywhere. So, in LA, dude, I wonder if they talk. I wonder in the Alabama awards if they talk about they're talking about the college football there. You know what I mean? Like people like local teams. Out here we have like Lakers, Dodgers, but
we do. We have a lot. So anyway, all right, cool, sick. Any suggestions before we go, bro? Any suggestions?
Yeah, I mean, like as far as like what you guys do on Sundays,
if I were to hire you as a consultant to try and get the other pagan masses to come in, I'm sorry, the godless secularists to come in. No, I'm sorry, I meant the friends of members of the church who aren't religious to come in. I'm just kidding, bro. But no, any suggestions you thought? Oh, that might have been cool.
I mean, again, like I don't really know what you guys normally do on Sundays, what the average service is like, and it's kind of weird. But I will just say, as an outsider, walking in for the first time, I don't know. It seems like it's a pretty like, I'm trying to find the best word for it, but it seems like it's a pretty laid back thing where it'd be pretty easy to bring people in for the first time.
Cool. All right.
Like, I don't know. I mean, because again, like I said, I'm not really like super religious guy. To me, it was cool. I got something out of it, but I wasn't like all of a sudden like
Brittany,
I'm converted.
which one of your friends are we going to drag next time, bro? I just called you bro. Whoops.
Yeah.
Babe.
What up, buddy?
What up, Doug? You know? It was a joke.
I feel like Shrek and Donkey. Like, I don't have any friends.
That's funny. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, yeah.
Wait. One last thing I want to get back to.
Oh, hit it. What's the one last thing
we were going talking about earlier? You never finished talking about. So when it used to be 3 hours and they switched to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. You said what they cut. Do you personally? What did you guys think about it?
3-hour church?
Yeah, because like I said, I felt like that 2 hour. We got there late, but I felt like that time like was. I
actually liked 3 hour church.
Okay.
I mean, I was born and raised, so like that's pretty much all I knew. So then when we made the decision to do 2-hour church, I was like, whoa. At first it felt really short, and I was like, okay, like I guess we go home now. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, is it 2 hours yet? Like it feels forever still. But
something we're also very good at as a people is there's auxiliary programs that you participate in. So maybe having lengthy services on Sunday isn't as necessary for religious instruction because a lot of the high schoolers go to 30 to 60 minutes of seminary instruction before high school starts every morning at the chapel on their way to high school. The young primary kids will participate in something called activity days, which is like a once a week fun, cool little instructional class where they'll do crafts or they'll play games or they'll learn a new sport or something.
Every other week, but yeah.
Or sorry, every other week. And then the youth will meet on Tuesday nights or Wednesday nights or whatever for their young men or the young women's program where there'll be a part social and a part religious spiritual thought. And then if back when we had the Boy Scouts, there would also be an additional night for the boys that were in the local Boy Scout troop to participate in the Boy Scout troop. And then the girls that were participating in some kind of duty to God program or something like that, or young women of excellence might have an extra night there. And back when church sports were very robust, Friday nights, a lot of people were at the chapel because there was very well organized leagues.
That was like the place to be, and I missed those nights. That was fun.
Oh, so like that recent, not like in like the 70s.
Oh, no.
Just a couple like 15 years ago.
As recently as like a decade ago, it used to be that the two most prominent leagues for basketball in North LA County were generally some localities and municipalities that had really good rec leagues, and the Mormon church leagues. I mean, I still have to get the term Mormon out of my nomenclature, right? But the Mormon basketball leagues were very robust, and you only had to have 2 out of 5 guys on the court at any given time as members of the church. So it would be very common.
You could stack your team.
Yeah, you would like just, it was really funny.
Basketball is like the one game where it's like, it's just like, oh, if you have 3 players that are good, that's all that's all you need. Yeah.
So it was actually really funny because like guys would like try and get Mormon friends to be like, hey dude, can we form a team and like you'll count as our Mormon? You know what I'm saying? And it was great though, because you'll notice about our facilities, what was the big thing that was in the center of the church building when I gave you that really quick tour? What was it? It's where we had our second hour.
Oh yeah, the basketball court, like a gym.
Yeah, with a full-blown stage, and it's a full-blown professional-sized gym. And it's actually, that one's not a professional size because we were in a chapel, but our stake centers have a full-blown professional-sized gym. And the facilities are robust, and they're awesome, and they're cool. So we would put them to use in a very well-organized basketball league. And my dad was the head of that basketball league. We would have 3-point competitions. You could dunk. My church basketball team had 2 pro athletes on it. You know what I'm saying? I literally grew up playing with Kyle Bowler, the guy that I think he ended up being a
quarterback for the
Ravens.
Yeah, for the Ravens.
And then a cat named Scott Hunt, who was like his buddy and was also a member of my congregation growing up, that I think went on to play somewhere else. I think he ended up being in the pros. I don't remember. But anyway, yeah, it was kind of crazy.
So what happened?
Man.
Why don't you do them anymore?
You know,
I don't know actually.
That's a long story, but it's kind of one of those things that's fallen by the wayside. I don't know if that's because of top-down direction from the brethren in charge of the church as a whole, or if that's just kind of negligence on behalf of local leadership. But it's definitely not as robust as it was in the 90s and the early 2000s and even into the teens. In the 20s, it's just not as common. It's more informal, I would say now. Like now there's still guys that'll show up and play pickup ball, but
Like
it's
in the
not
morning,
like this. Yeah,
but
it's not this big.
A weekend thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that was a huge outreach program that was super fun. I grew up literally playing basketball every Tuesday and every Friday. And if you want to go early in the morning, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so on and so forth. It was nuts. It was fun. It was cool. But anyway, okay, you got a dose of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, bro.
Yeah.
And
again,
you survived.
Yeah. And again, my final takeaways, it was pretty much, I guess, what I would imagine any like church to be like. I was expecting to be more surprised than I was, I guess. And I can see why you guys can do this every Sunday. It seemed like a pretty laid back experience.
All right, cool. Awesome. Well, next time we'll go to Relief Society with you, babe. What do you say?
Yeah.
Well, like a plan?
I'm in primary. Remember, I'm blessed to be in primary.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I forgot.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, guys, let us know what you guys think. Let's keep the conversation alive. If you got any questions for Cody, just hit us up in the comments. You know, we talk to him all the time. He's back in the studio all the time. We can ask him some questions again later. But other than that, it's been real and it's been fun. If you want to see more, please make sure you check us out at Ward Radio. We will see you guys in the next program.
Right now,